What's up, guys? Welcome to Primetime Poulton. I am the moral compass, Mark Poulton. With me today, Joe Catapano. We're going to talk about his book, Circuit. I want to thank everyone in the chat for joining us. We got Mr. Von Stugel, Amanda B, and we got, I saw him, Leroy. What's up, Leroy? Thanks everyone for joining us. Before we get into stars, first, Joe, thanks for joining me today.
Yeah, thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no, I'm happy when the guests are able to come on early. I like to stream as soon as I'm done work. It's a good. I mean, we were talking about work just before we went live. It's a nice relaxer after working the 9 to 5.
Right.
Oh, we got NTM Comics in the house. What's up? I just got NTM Comics book, Maverick Decimation.
Nice.
Started reading it. I'm enjoying it a lot, man. Thanks so much. So before we get into Star Circuit, I just want to share Sea Dog and Codename Kill Switch, which is still in demand. We're so close to $25,000. We're actually only $41 away from 25. Already surpassed the first campaign. Just want to highlight a few things. For $75, our featured tier is Triple Threat. You can get Clint's cover. This awesome cover by Dan Fraga, inked by Shelby Robertson, and colored by Matt Yackey. And if you missed out on book one, you can get the book one reprint featuring John Malin's black and white line art. That's available in our featured tier for $75. Or all those books are available $25 each. And everything's available as an add-on. Pick and choose what you like. And one last thing, I'd just like to highlight the Babe Box. That's our collector's case, $200. You get everything Clint and I have made for Sea Dog and Codename Kill Switch. You get all three covers to book one, both covers to book two, the Ash Cannon trading cards from the first campaign, a sketch from Clint, a sketch from me, a Sea Dog pop socket, all the stretch goals. So that's $200. Actually, that reminds me, I'm going to have to start working on my Sea Dog sketches for this. I signed myself up for sketches on this, and then sort of forgot that I actually have to do them. So
are they building up now?
Yeah, got close to 30 I have to do. So
wow.
Yeah.
That's enough.
And also I'd just like to share Graveyard Shift. We're still live for a little longer. The support for Graveyard Shift has just been incredible. We're live for 12 more days. We do not go in demand. We're at $104,405. Incredible. And this is the campaign for the Aaron Alfeche variant covers. Interior artist for Graveyard Shift, only made sense to have him do covers. So we have the cover for book 3 as well as supplemental book 2. And if you put them side by side, they form an image. We've got the core 4 of Graveyard Shift on one side, and then some new characters we're spotlighting in the supplemental book, Nightwalker and Runer. They're going to be big players in the Graveyard Shift universe. So definitely going to want to get the supplemental book. As well, we're offering Graveyard Shift Visions, our swimsuit edition, featuring the Kenneth Rocafort. Leroy's in my head. Leroy keeps saying I pronounce Kenneth's last name wrong, so now I always think about it before I say it. But everyone knows this cover. Too hot for YouTube. Got my stream taken down. They took John Malin's thumbnail down for his stream. There's also a little Graveyard Shift available. I co-wrote the story with my son. Definitely check it out. It's family friendly Graveyard Shift for anyone out there that has kids. And then we're still offering the collected edition of books 1 and 2. This is the regular cover. There's no variant for this, but definitely check it out, guys. If you haven't jumped on Graveyard Shift yet. Only 12 days remain. And again, thank you everyone for the support. It's crazy. I say this all the time, but when John and I launched the first Graveyard Shift, our goal was $5,000. And I remember telling my wife, I don't know what we're going to do if we don't hit $5,000, because I don't think John and I have the money to fund this book. So to see it take off so well has been amazing.
Yeah, it's been
Now,
great. Looks awesome.
thank you. So, Joe, tell me about yourself. We've I think we've done a couple streams together, but what's your story? Have you been in the industry for a while, or just starting out?
I mean, trying to get in the industry. I was for a long time because I, have the ambition to draw comic books. So I saw that as the only outlet to hit the mainstream years ago now. But ever since crowdfunding has kind of become viable, I think it's more popular, and kind of CG proves that it's like really a good way to go. This is my debut book with Star Circuit, so it's the first time I wrote and drew something too. There's a whole arc. I mean, I've definitely wrote other things, but it's the first time I've got a whole arc and actually drew my own work. So,
were you always interested in comics though, growing up?
Very much so, but I kind of grew up very talking to the moral compass here. So I grew up very Catholic with my parents. So we kind of had to skirt around their rules and find books wherever we could, or go through my friends and take their books. But I definitely didn't get to go to the store and pick out what I wanted, or whatever, you know what I mean? Like it was an issue. So after that, in college I really got into it, or later toward end of high school, but definitely in college. And around that same time I was going to I found like at the same time as me getting into the reading of all the comics, I kind of wanted to draw them as well. So all about the same time.
Yeah, no, we send my son to, we sent him to Catholic school. So he was real excited when Sea Dog came out. And I was like, it's probably not a good idea to bring Sea Dog into school.
Right.
there's some scantily clad ladies in that book.
Right.
I don't know how the other parents would feel about it.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody's got their own opinion, but yeah, I was in a Catholic school for my definitely into middle school. So, but yeah, there's nuns and rulers and stuff.
So Leroy says, so I was looking at the Graveyard Shift page, but he said, "Oh shit, it's Leroy." When I made mention of you, have you you're familiar with Leroy?
Yes, I'm a fan of Leroy, and sometimes not a fan of Leroy, but he knows that though. No, I really appreciate what Leroy does for the community.
And he's asking if I approve of your meth distribution center you run out of your outhouse located in your backyard. Any truth to this?
No, there's been claims, but no. I mean, I am living in Florida and not Kentucky anymore, so. I don't know if that gives me any cred. Probably
not. He also says Kenneth Rocafort pronounced the greatest of all time, or Malin Destroyer,
aka.
All right. Yeah. So we got Michael Bancroft in the house. What's up, Michael? Fan of Leroy. That's a first.
That's right. He's the fans' fan. Yes.
So what was the inspiration behind Star Circuit?
So Star Circuit's a love letter kind of to 80s anime and old school 80s comics. And I grew up on a lot of different types of like some cartoons, more like Thundercats, but also some things more anime like Akira. I was really big into video games, so Nintendo games like F-Zero really inspired this book. And even Mega Man, because Mega Man has like, you wouldn't think about it, but the more you think about Mega Man, almost all the characters in that game are all these like cartoony androids, and they all have different roles. And I kind of pulled from that into this book too, where a lot of the androids in this book are specific, rather than like a general AI of a replicant or something from Blade Runner.
So I have to say, I was going over your campaign earlier today. The book looks fantastic.
Thank you.
And this is your first campaign. This is incredible. You're killing it. You're at 17,000 right now. How has it been for you as a first time campaigner?
I mean, it's super fresh. I wonder how it's going to be the second time around. But right now, it's very like on the day-to-day basis, like, and when I had the lull, it was really depressing. And when I had these big spikes and just like, figuring out how to do the updates, everything that has to update with the campaign, or some things that I have to make fresh for the campaign, really are kind of jarring because I have to figure it out as I go. A lot of them are kind of have a learning curve. So it's been great, though. I didn't think I was going to get this response. With artwork, I tell this to everybody, like with art especially, you don't expect to have a following, or so whenever it does happen where you get some sort of response, it feels like magic. It feels like you've somehow like hard coded it into the universe or something. But that's how I feel. It's like something that very I don't know, like very surprised that I got this amount of response, but at the same time, I put so much effort into it. I'm glad it happened.
Now, were you hanging around like in the chats of the various like Comicsgate YouTube shows that are going on just to get a presence known before you launched your book?
Yeah, I think there's one thing I did learn was that, and I suggest this for anybody about to start theirs. If you don't have your book ready, I say don't go for it, but also go into each individual community. And in CG, there's like little clicks in CG that I would suggest you go, make yourself known and talk and see who's around, and be a fan yourself, and find the books that you like, talk to those creators. And it's just natural. I think like even the really small channels, talking to them is hugely beneficial, because you're talking to even if it's just one other person, it's one other person that cares about what you care about, and that's important.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I tell everyone when they ask me like advice for when they're about to launch their campaign, I say make yourself known in the chat. Getting on shows is great, but hanging out in the chats I think is just as important. We actually have a question from Leroy. On a serious note, can you ask Joe how he developed the color palette for Star Circuit? The colors he chose really work for Star Circuit.
Sounds like a weird neg, but at the same time, maybe it's just Leroy and I'm looking for an egg. But I found them through studying. It's actually just really organic. These are the palettes that I like, and I almost stumbled upon them from just really loving Sid Mead's work. I don't know if you know who that is, but Sid Mead is a futurist kind of visionary. He died a few years ago, maybe 2 years ago, and he did the designs for Tron, for Gundam, for so many things. The main designer behind Blade Runner. So if you go get his art books, you might, your brain might explode. And from that, you rebuild the brain with certain color palettes as your, preference. And that's how it happened. It was just like, this is the kind of stuff that he would do, things like that are gritty and kind of based in realism, but at the same time, he'll just throw he doesn't care about throwing the most saturated reds, and it's all about this mix of when you do your color palette, you want to have a lot of desaturation, and then throw one big accent color. And between those few things, I think that's how I got my color palette. Just really focusing on the importance on the page.
Yeah, no, the colors look fantastic. Yeah, and I think Leroy was being serious. At least I hope he was.
I'm sure he is.
We got Fizz Chozo in the chat. He's only here for 10 minutes. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Oh, yeah.
Leroy says you did a really good job hanging out with the chat.
I'm really not good at it. It kind of me and just doing social stuff is, I don't know, I kind of have to push myself to go and be more social because I'm just not that person. However, I like all the stuff you do, or most of the people in chat. So talking about stuff is easy. So it's not hard to push yourself there. But for somebody that is more huddled in this little room that I draw in all the time, to get out there once in a while is good. And you bring it up, the success of Star Circuit has kind of brought some people out of the woodwork and asking me oh, how did you make it work? And I'm like, dude, this is my first time. I'm trying to sort it out myself. But yeah, just because you get a little bit of short success. Some people, think you have mastered the path in life, which I think I got a few things right about connecting with fans and whatnot, like you said.
Yeah, no, I'm a very quiet person myself. I just kind of like to. I feel like for maybe the first couple of years of CG, I was just off in my own corner, just making books. And luckily, I had John Malin, who told me, he was like, "Hey, we can do this two ways. We can launch the book in your name, and I'll support you, or we can launch it in my name, and I'll go light a fire under everyone." I was like, "Well, if we're going to do it, let's do it big. Go light some fires, John." And
Right.
John took care of that. But then once I started doing all these other books besides Graveyard Shift, I was like, well, John's not going to promote these for me. I have to actually go out and and start doing the work myself.
Mm-hmm.
But I've actually I've really started to enjoy it, just connecting with the fans. I actually just consider them friends now. Yeah, just it's amazing. I do a wrestling show every Sunday, and half the people that maybe not half, probably 90% of the people that show up don't even follow wrestling. They just like to hang out with us. So
Right.
it's pretty awesome.
I feel like that would be me because I was never into it, but I would probably show up. I just a lot of there's so many shows now that like it's usually you're missing somebody's show no matter what, I think, which is funny.
Yeah, Leroy, I guess I would consider you a friend. I mean, you're the head MFer in charge, so that's a Mark follower.
Yeah.
Joke. In case you weren't aware. Should I play the video for Star Circuit?
You totally can. It's one of my favorite things that I think Star Circuit kind of gets based around, because it's got music and it's got a nice editing job by Ted Segarra. So I do enjoy watching it still to this day.
Oh, Ted's awesome. He did my U.S. Assassin 3 trailer. Yeah, he's incredible. Yeah, let me know if the sound isn't playing for you. Sometimes there's a problem for that. I can never figure it out.
Okay.
Huh.
Could be just the internet. Who knows?
Yeah. All right. We'll
you can come
give
back
it another try. Yeah. How about we go through the perks?
Sure.
All right. So our featured tier, the Essentials.
Yes. So the Essentials used to carry more, and it's kind of been slimmed down because I wanted to reward the people that do back during the campaign. I wanted that to be a thing, a through line for my later campaigns, that I'll always focus on the main campaign with extra stuff. So here you're going to get the main book. You're going to get a concept art book that is a supplemental, and also it's an extended banner. It's a 24-inch long banner of the main character in this nice background.
Very cool. $16 digital version of the book.
Yeah, so it's the same price as the main book physically, but you get the supplemental included as well. So you're getting a little extra bang for your buck if you go digital.
Nice. And then the main cover, $16.
Mm-hmm. So the main book and the variant, same price. And like I said, it used to come with a print, but now it's just the book.
And the variant cover is by Keenan White. Here's a better view of it.
Keenan White and Steve Furcal did the colors. Yeah,
it looks great.
Yeah, super impressed with it.
$32 Star Circuit plus the design book.
Mm-hmm. So that's the same two books that I was bringing up in the Essentials tier. Yep.
And then $32 both covers. Very straightforward, which is great.
Yeah, tried. I heard don't try to get creative with the names, and I do just slightly at the end, but you know, I like doing it. At least it's maybe focused that way.
Book and banner, $36.
Mm-hmm. So these are just pretty much different, combinations of really the big items. Yeah.
Now $60 metric X50 3D print.
Yeah. So below the pages, you can see bigger versions of this. This is the biggest update from the campaign is this 3D print. We worked on it for a long time while the campaign was going. And this is the main bike. I call this probably the main character of Star Circuit because Many characters come and go and get featured, but this bike and this design kind of stays around for a long time. But yeah, this 3D print's pretty big. If you scroll down, it's actually one of the biggest 3D prints I've ever seen. It's massive. It's like if it was like a chunk of marble, it would be like a brick, and that's how you kind of visualize it. But you get it gray, and we can spray primer on it. The whole idea is that you can paint your own bike, come with your own color scheme. And then in the next book, we'll probably ask around, see who has a good design, and probably do a competition on whoever has the best design will get in the new book.
That's awesome. Now, did you do this yourself, or did you hire a 3D sculptor?
I actually probably could have done it, but because I do have a 3D background, but I also am not as great as others out there. So yeah, I did the design. Have my old buddy from back in the day when I was in school. You have a big network of these guys that do this kind of stuff. So he did that. Yeah. He also happened to do a lot of 3D printing. So he's handling both. He did the model and doing the 3D print.
That's great. My wife surprised me for Christmas with a 3D printer, which is a great gift. I have no idea. One of these days, it's just finding time. I'm going to have to spend a day, I think, to try to figure out how to get it to work.
Yeah, it's actually pretty complicated if you get really, really into it. But I think getting something basic out is not too tough.
$66. We have the Star Circuit and Sketch Card.
Yes, and this brings it up because I see a lot of tiers that have 0, and it's one of those things within Indiegogo where if you reset the perk by removing something, it drops back to 0. So it's very weird to gauge what's popular now because everything's kind of been reset. But yeah, this is probably a cheap way for you can get original sketch card by me.
And is it just going to be a random character from the book?
It'll be a random character from the book, but definitely a main character and definitely one featured in this particular entry.
$150 Apex backer.
So this is the big one. This is everything we've talked about before. You're going to get both covers, the supplemental concept art book, the banner, the sketch card, and a t-shirt that is exclusive to Apex backer. I've always wanted to wear, like, if I saw somebody wearing this shirt, I knew they would be a big fan. And I could approach them maybe and be like, hey, what's up? You like Star Circuit?
Yeah, no, we do that every campaign with Graveyard Shift. It's usually our highest priced tier, and we changed the logo to like a gold ring around the Graveyard Shift skull, just to like symbolize that these are like the elite class of backers. And right. John promised everyone a drink at a convention if they're wearing the shirt. Nice.
I might have to do something like that because I'm in Orlando, and there's actually a lot of people in Orlando from CG. We're gonna have to do a meetup.
Yeah, I mean, there's talk of that fan fest
eventually. Yeah.
$250 Star Circuit plus original page. And
this one I specifically included the book because not many people double back projects, so I wanted to make sure you got to actually see the book if you got a page, make less work for you.
Yeah. And I know you already unlocked some stretch goals.
Oh yeah, plenty. There's my dog's right here. He's hearing stuff outside. We unlocked like 3 or 4 big things and then a couple smaller ones. So the first one is a postcard, one of the smaller ones. Mm-hmm. We unlocked it the same day almost we launched. And then we've got a 5x8 print by my buddy Jeremy Teveno. He's my art bro that we do a stream on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And speaking of, my channel is very close to 1,000 subs. So anybody out there hasn't subbed, check it out. Come say hi on Wednesdays. So he did that for me, and it's pretty killer.
Yeah, it looks great. 10,000 extra style pages. What does that mean?
These are kind of like, because they're not story pages. I didn't know exactly what to call them. I almost call them buffer pages, but makes them seem very, very bad. Like they're like me just like putting filler into the book, and I didn't want to do that. So it's very just much. It deals with the story, but it's more like thanking the backers. There's now a thank you page for the book. I didn't think I was going to do this in the beginning, but I have a whole page. I'm going to list all the backers that did back. And in the beginning of the book, there's like an intro page that really sets you up for reading the book.
Awesome. And then $11,000 companion mixtape.
Yeah, the companion mixtape is like, I call it a mixtape because it's not one by one artist. It's various artists, just like you would make a mixtape back in the day. And I wanted a whole bunch of genres. It's generally more synthwave because it's a cyberpunk book, but I was made sure to get a little bit of punk in there and a little bit of, just old-fashioned guitar.
Mm-hmm. 12,000. We get a patch.
Yeah, if you spend pretty much the 2-book version, if you get 2 books, you're going to be able to get this patch. Anybody who's backing just 1 book, you're not going to be eligible. But at $32 and up, everybody gets a patch.
And 14,000 Brothers 5 by 5.5 by 8.5 print.
Yeah, this one is pretty much the same size as the last print we talked about by Jeremy. This is by Luis Diaz. It's got a cool halftone effect when you see it enlarged, but it's great. It's got such personality to it. I love it.
So do you have anything else in store? Still deciding, or
I do, but because we have the 3D print, that takes so much time that it's hard to get the next stretch goal. What I will do is put a big update once we have kind of people actually getting the books, because I will want reviews, and I know we're going to get a whole bunch of kind of new support. But I also want to put up. I'll be putting up another perk for retailers. So because I think the only thing stopping retailers is because they haven't seen the book physically. So especially the ones local to where I'm at. So once I have a physical book to give them and there's a perk, that'll be something new. And you guys can spread the word about that if you guys have a local store that wants one.
Awesome.
Or it'll probably be a set of 10 or 6 or something.
I'm going to just check back with the chat, see what's going on. Hicks Villain says he's part of the 1% that actually knows wrestling, that watches my wrestling show. I appreciate that, Hicks Villain. Thank you. It gives us someone who asks serious questions, except instead of Leroy asking who the oiliest wrestler is. We actually broke it down yesterday, and Leroy didn't appreciate that. So Mo Big says this channel keeps me humble by not giving me a wrench. Mo, if you want a wrench, man, I'll give you one.
You probably should hold out. You might be the only channel in CG where Mo doesn't have a wrench.
Jim says, "Hail, Mo Biggs." Leroy says, "Jim, I'm hungry and the wife is not home. What do I do?" Leandro says, "Moral compass. Ask Joe if he can see a 6-inch figure on his 7-inch bike for sale."
Well, the whole idea was to keep it simple in the beginning here. So yeah, there won't be a figure, but you can definitely plan on the next entry next year. Because the plan is, this is a mini series, and we didn't bring this up, but Star Circuit's a mini series, and it's probably going to be around 300 pages when it's all said and done. So this is only 32. There's plenty more to go. And the next entry, I'm going to try to do a big bulk, either 70-ish pages or more. And so the next one, I'll be able to do more things, like we're planning on doing a nice statue style print or a miniature with a character next to the bike with extra effects and cool stuff. It'll probably light up next time around.
Mo says the bike was designed for a mouse, but I think a figure would probably work.
Yeah. What was that? That old children's story. What was that thing called? Highway Mouse or something? Biker Mouse, something? Not Biker Mouse, not Biker Mice from Mars, but what's that other one? I can't remember.
I don't know. I know Biker Mice from Mars, though.
Yeah.
Let's see. Michael says you're on holiday, Leroy. Burger King awaits. Don't let John Malin know you're on holiday. He had too many artists telling him that they were on holiday. He was not happy with that.
What, he doesn't approve of holidays ever?
Well, the thing is, John and I, we work all the time on graveyard shift. So Unfortunately, I spoiled him after the last 3 years. Now that we started bringing other people in,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've heard some of John's rants recently.
I've heard a few.
Yeah.
Definitely heard Bancroft's, and a couple more. He might have ranted on my clothes. Pretty sure he did.
Yeah, no, we don't take holidays here. We're always working. So yeah, the campaign looks incredible. I can't believe it's your first book. It's doing fantastic. It looks fantastic.
Thanks. Yeah, I have. I mean, it's my first book, but I've been, like I said, I was trying to get in the mainstream for years. I pride my whole goal was just for my art to stand alone. I probably put myself as an artist before a writer. Even though I'm turning out to be a decent writer, as far as what I can tell, we'll see when the book releases, see the general, feedback on it. But I've been trying to be a better and better artist. Like it's the only thing in my life that I've kept consistent, that I kept pushing the boundaries of how good I was at, draftsmanship and now color. So I think with this book, it's like the biggest steps. The one thing I've worked hardest on in my life. And so it's cool that you guys get to share in that.
Now you're in demand. Now, how long do you think you'll be in demand for?
Good question. If we sell out on all the 3D prints, it would give me another reason not to keep the in demand going, because I wanted to keep that pretty exclusive. But at the same time, as long as it's going, I think Malin would say keep it open as long as you can. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. He doesn't want people to follow what we do and not go in demand. No, it's a good source of income for people to keep their stores in demand. So yeah, right. I like to keep my projects in demand until I'm right about ready to go to the printer, and then I usually cut it off because I know what my print run will be. And
the thing is with mine is like I'm pretty much sending to the printer like in the next couple of weeks. What's the only thing that's holding me back is I just bought a house. It'd probably be in the printer already, so I'm trying to figure out what location I'm going to actually be at. So it's kind of delayed the printing, but in my case, it's going to take a long time to make the next one. So I'm like, do I keep it up through a lot of the production of Star Circuit 2, or do I cut it and just have the YouTube channel build the hype? It's a trade-off, I think, but I'm glad that I have the option. It's pretty cool. And Star Circuit 1, I think is going to do great. I think it's a testament to if you stay in demand, it kind of gives people confidence. Like, oh, I'm going to give this. I don't know. I'm going to give this, like, my dog's going crazy in the back. I'm going to give like people seeing that it's in demand for that long. They're going to respect it because people are reviewing it. You're not afraid of bad reviews. You're not afraid of. You're confident in the book itself. So I think that's the point that I want to stress. It's like I think the book is going to be something that people are going to be talking about.
Yeah, no, I've had other people say keep it in demand while you're fulfilling. That way, when people are saying how great it is, you'll get more. You'll get new people coming in and buying the book, and thankfully it'll be available. So right. Yeah, I can see the argument for both ways.
Yeah, I think there's something to say for both, because it's whatever you want to do. It's just like how you guys kind of close off, after the 60 days, right? For Graveyard Shift, right?
Bancroft says it's crazy how many 1,000 sub channels are around now. We're growing. Yeah, no, power of Comicsgate, most supportive community I know of.
Yep, indeed.
Leroy says, which dog is more addicted to meth, Joe's dog or Santa's little helper?
Dude, my dog, he's skinny enough to be on meth for sure.
So what's next for you? Are you going straight into Star Circuit 2, or you have any other properties you're thinking about doing?
I do have other things going on. I've got other ones on the back burner, but those will stay on the back burner until I think the majority of Star Circuit, the miniseries, is done, which will take a few years. But I am working on a side book for another guy. It seems like a cool book, and it's a short one. I think it's only 17 pages. So it's something to like, it's my in-between. It's like refresh a little bit, stop drawing motorcycles for, a little while, and then come back to it. So, but I drew a lot of the Star Circuit a long time ago. I drew because over the course of having a day job and everything else, I was doing this like in short spurts of getting things done. And it just took a long time because you just don't have that kind of, time to put into it consecutively. Life gets in the way and all that. So for Star Circuit, a lot of these pages were drawn 2 years ago. You know what I mean? So when I do Star Circuit again, there's going to be a big bump. Probably my skills have increased.
Yeah,
quite a bit.
It's great to hear you're doing work for other people too. I was going to ask if, like, once you launched your book, if more creators from CG had reached out to you to see if you would do, I don't know, like a print or a cover or
it's almost
story.
It's not that like my book has good success, a decent success for a debut book, right? But like it's almost night and day from like after I released the book and before. Like no one's talking about me before, and no one even knows that I will want to take work or something. But afterward, It's just this bombardment of work. Like I'm saying no just about every day. So not to, I feel like that's a humble brag. That's not what I mean. I mean, like, it's something where people are coming to me and I'm appreciative of the work. It's just now it's too much that I can't, it's an overnight kind of thing that happened.
No, that's a great problem to have to turn down work. So yeah, you should be proud.
Sure. Yeah.
So is there anything else that you would like the people in the chat to know about Star Circuit?
I mean, there's plenty. We haven't really, maybe we can try the trailer again, but we haven't really talked about the story much. I think that's, even though I'm an artist, I feel like I want to talk about the story.
Let's give this another try. Here we go.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
Great trailer. Ted's awesome.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with that guy. I mean, every trailer I've seen that he's done is pushing the product in a way that the book wouldn't be able to do. And I love a lot of the other trailers that I've seen out there that weren't done by him, obviously, but his style is very cinematic and kind of straightforward, just bombastic and awesome.
We got Jose Garcia in the chat. What's up, Jose? Thanks for joining us today.
What's up, Jose?
So tell us about the story.
So yeah, Star Circuit, like we started out talking about, it's a cyberpunk racing adventure where it's very much inspired by Akira and F-Zero, things like that. And it's centered around this world where androids have become the new standard. It's where in this world, the technology has become so advanced that androids have now become all the labor and all the skill, and none of the humans that live in this world have to work or strive for anything. So the world's kind of become complacent, and it's a great place to show a character that actually starts striving for something, and not just anything, but like almost like a suicidal mission of competing against androids in the biggest race that there is. So the Star Circuit is the premier league of racing. It's all just these giant corporations that put funding into making the craziest androids with the craziest fast bikes and reaction times. And it's impossible for a human to do it. Like generations and generations ago, the last human that did attempt it, got pretty much died, and everyone else died with him on the track because no one could. It caused a wreck. It's kind of like I'm trying to find an analogy where like if you're just so far out of the competence level, you can cause like wrecks. It's like a quantum computer being compared to a normal computer. It's just running laps around you. So in this universe, this is what this main character does. He's a street racer that gets convinced that he can race in the big leagues against androids, and man, he's not ready for it, but he definitely attempts the learning curve, even though society says it's impossible.
That's cool, man. It sounds like it actually would be right up my alley.
Awesome.
And my son, so I might have to
well,
pick it
it
up.
probably not your son just yet.
It's a little well, my son's a little he's well, I don't know.
What I say, I mean, if I put a mature rating on it for language, that's it. So if you can get past that, you're good.
Oh yeah, he's fine with that. I'm fine with him being fine with that.
Okay, awesome. But yeah, there's something I saw some people do. I know Replicator did in the very beginning, put like, you know, not safe for work thing on his campaign. But I did want to put this on the chapter, the credits page, that there is like a mature rating just in case. Probably mostly from my like nice family members that like went out of their way and bought it. I'm like, all right, let's just see if you're ready for this. Here's a little disclaimer for you. Yeah,
no, my mom, she loves all the children's book stuff I do. She doesn't like any of the comic work I do.
Yeah. I feel like there's definitely going to be. My parents, I think, are going to be fine, but like the couple of like random like aunts or uncles that bought a book just to be nice, I think they're going to be in for a rude awakening.
Yeah, no, I got a few messages. No one from my family, but just from readers that weren't ready for. There's one scene in Graveyard Shift Book 1. I don't know if you're familiar, but there's one scene that caught a lot of people by surprise, and I heard about it. So,
well, I got the Graveyard Shift 1 and 2 coming with the third one, so I haven't read, but
yeah,
soon enough. Soon I will.
Be on the lookout for it.
I will.
So, yeah, man, I want to thank you for joining me today. Now, you were saying you have your own YouTube channel. You're almost to 1,000 subs. Yeah, and you do Art Bros. That's your show?
I do Art Bros. Yeah, so if you go to K Manifesto's, little listing with Dojo Kun, they've got the listing of all the shows. We're in that list. I'm starting to do a Sunday stream as well, an art stream around 11 o'clock Eastern, which, the format might change, but for now it's just chill, draw, whoever wants to jump on. Maybe I'll have a guest, maybe not. But it's been good. It's been good to like build the channel. I've got tutorials on my channel too. So it's not just waiting for the next stream. I will be putting out, actually more and more kind of things to help creators. I know there's a lot of more, I guess, beginner creators out there in CG as well as the pros. And I know I'm somewhere in between, but I'd like to put my 2 cents in there. So it's cool to help as much as you, get help from other people.
I want to thank Leroy for sharing the link to your YouTube channel. Let's get Joe to 1,000 subs, man.
Yeah, that would be great. We're gonna, when that happens, we're gonna do probably a big late night stream on the weekend and just pump up the watch hours to help get monetized. But it'll be a fun time. Yeah.
So everyone, make sure if you haven't backed Star Circuit yet, go check it out. The book looks fantastic. It's going to the printer really soon, so shouldn't be much of a wait for you. Joe, where else on social media can people find you at?
I'm Catapano Art on Twitter, so that's just my last name and the word art. And I'm also the same Catapano Art on Instagram. I'm on Facebook too, but it's usually just a tag along thing. They're not great over there for. It's not great for posting stuff, but they have its uses. But yeah, besides that, the YouTube channel is just Joe Catapano. I know he shared the link, so thanks, Leroy. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And unless you're local in Orlando, we're gonna try to set something up out here. There's so many of us out here.
Yeah, no, I've been waiting to do something in Jersey. Actually, Ethan Van Sciver and I would go to the same comic shop, so I would love to do something with the two of us at our shop. But I don't know. They're not ready for events just yet.
Yeah, I mean, it's just barely getting over that hump.
Yeah.
You know, it's weird because I'm still trying to go to shops, and half of them are just like, you know, I feel like they got one guy in the back, you know, and a lot of them don't have a lot of staff, so you're like trying to beg them to get a book in their shop, and they're short staffed.
Yeah. Leroy's saying come to Vegas with him and Bancroft.
I will definitely be down for that if that happens.
And Woodrow, what's up? Where was it? Nefarious says Catapano did an art stream on coloring, and it was dope.
Yes. I never thought I'd like be the guy talking about coloring, because for a long time I just was really just trying to do the pencil work, and so it's a weird switch. But so you're I didn't even check how many subs you have. You're way past 1,000, right?
Just a little over 1,000. I think it's like 1,020.
Okay, man. Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm there. Still working on my watch hours, my views. So
yeah, they're tough. Yeah. They're tough to do.
Yeah, especially when you only stream. I usually only stream. I do best friend show with my best friends, and then I do La Pod Gods, which is the wrestling show. Mm-hmm. So I do like 2 hours definitely, and then whenever anyone asks like yourself to come on and promote their books, I'm always open to that. So I probably got to start streaming, you know, at least 4 or 5 times a week, I think, to get those hours up.
Yeah, or really, really long, you know, 6-hour stream here or there.
Yeah, I did a marathon closeout for US Assassin once, from like 10 p.m. to 3 a.m. That was brutal.
That's nuts.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun though.
I forgot that I wanted to ask you questions before you were interviewing me, but I want to ask you questions about
Go ahead.
Maybe advice on, if anybody else is listening too that might want this advice, but what are maybe some key things that you suggest doing for your first campaign or any campaign? Maybe there's a couple things that you definitely just, you know, advise people do when you start your first campaign.
I mean, we already talked about it. Like, hang out in the chats, get your name known out there, have your own channel, and have that going for a while. Like, I mean, John said it all the time. You have to build your own platform, and you know, you can't rely on other people. Luckily, everyone in Comicsgate is pretty great, and they'll have you on their shows. But you need to have your own place too. Like, just for every once in a while, like when, I don't know, US Assassin was going on, Mike and I would like jump on like every weekend and just talk about not just US Assassin, but whatever was going on, just so backers can get to know you. Also, I mean, I think like, you know, not just promoting yourself, but promote other people in the community. You know, you have your channel. I'm sure you have other people on to promote their stuff. And yeah, you got to
be organic about it. I think that's maybe the key there. It's like, don't promote just because that's what you have to do. You do it because it's the right thing.
Yeah, no, I really feel like this is a community, and people who, you know, the ones who are here and they're here for themselves and not for the community. Right. I think they get kind of sniffed out pretty quick.
Right. It's not even like they're just be organic about it. Like, support the books you like to support, you know, the books that you think are doing things that either good for the community or good for just books in general, you know, helping comics in general, the industry.
Yeah. You know? I would also say for like first time campaigns, get as much done ahead of time for your book as possible. I know sometimes it's not possible, especially if you're paying like artists for work. You need the crowdfunder to pay these people. But if in a case like yourself, where you're pretty much a one-man show, get as much done as possible. That way, I think like the best way to build, you know, goodwill with your backers is to fulfill quick. And it sounds like you're going to fulfill pretty quick.
Yeah, I think it's key. And I did that accidentally. I wanted it to be done for myself and just ready to go for pitches. If I was going to a publisher or something, it just happened to be that way where I was done. But you're probably right. And for Star Circuit, in general, like me doing the book this quickly, obviously it's all the preparation. I worked on it for years, so it's not something, if you need the time, spend the time up front, instead, I think.
Yeah, when John and I launched Graveyard Shift, we had the first book done already because I mean we had been working on it for 8 years on and off.
Well,
So yeah, so when it finally came time to launch it, the work was done, but we fulfilled pretty quickly. I think we fulfilled maybe like a month early, or at least we started fulfilling like a month early, or right when we said we were. But I've tried to replicate that with all my other projects, have as much done as possible. My next book is going to be 100% done before we launch. I don't know. I feel like the more goodwill you build, the longer your your stay here will be.
Yeah, I mean, it's just like any other product. You're like, you want, as a consumer, you want it now, as soon as possible. Yeah. So,
well, if you don't have any other questions for me, we'll wrap this up.
Yeah, I think that's it. I think, just thank you for bringing me on. And
yeah, no problem, man.
Your books, I look forward to reading all the books that I haven't read but have backed.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So everyone, make sure you go check out Star Circuit. Go sub to Joe's YouTube channel. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Coney Waves. Make sure you subscribe to Primetime Poulton, hit the notifications, and I'll be back. Actually, I think I'm back Wednesday for another creator interview. So
Great.
we'll see you guys. Thanks.
See ya.